Disclaimer. This video exists for the purposes of entertainment, education, and theory rebuttal. This video is not an attack on the creator of the theory, nor will it, unless otherwise stated, address the theory creator personally. Instead, the creator's name in this video will be used as either a name to address the theory by, or to address the assumed mindset of the creator at the time of this video's creation. Unless there is substantial evidence, it is not assumed the creator still stands behind the video in question. If you harass or witch hunt anyone involved with this video, I will personally disown you. Thank you. This is part 2 to a 2-part video. If you haven't seen part 1, go watch part 1, but we're doing part 2 right now, so let's go.
Mario staged all the games. The first Mario game, the original Super Mario Bros., is the only adventure Mario actually went on. After being praised as a hero by the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario begins to reminisce the events by dreaming in Super Mario Bros. 2. He then stages a play to relive his glory in Super Mario Bros. 3. Finally, he makes a reality show where he lives in Princess Peach's castle and must defeat all sorts of enemies, help others, and collect stars in Super Mario 64. This would conveniently explain why Lakitu is always following Mario with a camera recording everything. This would also explain all the spin-off games like Mario Party, Mario Kart, and all the Mario sports games. I mean really, who else but the celebrity hero of the Mushroom Kingdom to host all these events?
Oh, great! It's one of the many Mario is actually a scumbag theories that exist. It might not seem that way from how Jorge described it, but it's clear from reading the Reddit post by Dale Leatherwood that this is the light they're trying to paint Mario in. Really, the only evidence to this theory is the Super Mario Bros. 3 was a stage play bit, and the fact that there's a Lakitu with a camera that follows Mario around in Super Mario 64. You want to know something about that Lakitu, though? Listen to this line of dialogue from the very beginning of Super Mario 64.
Good afternoon! The Lakitu Bros here, reporting live from just outside the princess's castle. Mario has just arrived on the scene and will be filming the action live as he enters the castle and pursues the missing Power Stars.
The Lakitu is a reporter! At the end of the day, though, this really amounts to nothing more than one of those cool AU bro theories I mentioned earlier. Those kinds of theories aren't a bad thing per se, but it shouldn't be used to project onto canon. It's not a good day when you start doing that. The next theory is just a bit of conjecture about these things from Super Mario Galaxy 2 that I can't really argue with, so I'm skipping ahead to the next theory after that.
Donkey Kong murdered Mario and Luigi's parents. In Donkey Kong Country, it's established that the Donkey Kong in the original arcade game is Cranky Kong, and that the one in Donkey Kong Jr. grew up to be the one that we all know and love today.
Nope. Canonically, according to Nintendo themselves, Cranky Kong is Donkey Kong's grandfather, which means that Donkey Kong is not Donkey Kong Jr.
However, in Yoshi's Island DS, we see baby versions of Mario, Bowser, Peach, Wario, and Donkey Kong, implying that they're all roughly the same age. Now, if this were the case, then how is it possible that a grown Mario fought Cranky Kong, but was defeated by an infant Donkey Kong? Aren't they supposed to be the same age?
No.
The theory goes that the original Jumpman is not Mario, but instead Mario's father. In the arcade game, it's confirmed that Jumpman is trying to save a woman named Pauline, assumed to be Mario's first love interest. If Jumpman is instead Mario's father, it's possible that Pauline is Mario and Luigi's mother. This would also mean that the infant Donkey Kong killed Jumpman in Donkey Kong Jr. At the end of the game, Jumpman falls to the ground because of Donkey Kong Jr., and is seen with a halo over his head. No character that dies in Mario is seen like that. Does this mean that Jumpman, Mario and Luigi's father, was killed by Donkey Kong?
At the end of the theory post made by Reddit user Just Embarrassing, they make this claim.
In Donkey Kong, after getting hit with an obstacle on your way to the top, you do a couple spins and finally fall to the ground with a halo around your head. You died. You have lives that can bring you back to life, but in that instance, you did die. Now, when you beat Donkey Kong, or Donkey Kong 3, Cranky falls to the ground, hits his head, and looks very dizzy. As we know, he also returns in more games well into his old age. This is the end of Donkey Kong Jr.
YouTube link.
Jumpman falls to the ground and lies down with a halo floating above his head. He's dead. As the antagonist of the game, he has no extra lives.
As the antagonist of the game, he has no extra lives? How many times has Bowser supposedly died and he's still here? In fact, in Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, he's shown to have infinite lives. Also, remember our golden rule of checking out the original source material? Well, as it would turn out, the death scene being referenced only happens in the NES port of the game. In the original arcade version, Jumpman actually gets back up again after falling. This is actually super, super important and debunks this theory in a heartbeat. Now that's just embarrassing. Also, Jorge promised a theory where both parents die, and I am sorely disappointed. I want my money back. Now I'm skipping the next theory because I actually kind of like it. I'll link the Reddit post in the description so you can read it for yourselves, but as for me, I'm moving on.
The Bowser and Kingboo theory.
Oh no! Oh no, not this one!
At the end of the game, the platform that Bowser is standing on explodes, and there's no sign of him escaping. Even if he were to survive, the fall back down would most likely kill him. The town news even confirms this by saying, Bowser was badly beaten, and will likely never return. We're sure of it, almost positive. If Bowser is surely never coming back, if he's killed, then how does he return in future games?
I'm going to cut this off right here for a second to say some things. Firstly, let's remember that the news bulletin is purely conjecture on the part of the Toads conveying a hope that Bowser won't return after the trouncing Mario gave him. It's not meant to be taken as an absolute fact that Bowser is dead. Secondly, Bowser's gone through plenty of things that should have killed him but didn't. Even in the original Super Mario Bros., he gets dropped in a pool of lava. On top of that, you know who else got caught up in that explosion? Kammy Koopa, yet she still returns to the Thousand-Year Door. That pretty much proves that the explosion wasn't lethal. And, as the final killing blow, Bowser and Kammy both show up in the parade during the credits. Take hecking that. Theory over.
In Luigi's Mansion, Kingboo makes his first appearance, and you can even see him in a room with Mario trapped within a painting. The fortune-telling ghost even says, What is this? Bowser? How can this be? I see the hideous form of Bowser. Is Bowser somewhere in this mansion? I cannot believe it. And yet I see it. I thought that Mario had soundly defeated Bowser. Has Kingboo somehow revived Bowser? Well, this could be horrible. Well, for you. And it is. Kingboo has revived Bowser to get his revenge on Mario. That's the theory. This is why Bowser can fail and be defeated in the most extreme ways. And it also gives a purpose to Kingboo. Since he's a ghost, he can't really die if he's already dead.
One thing that nobody ever questions about this whole scenario is how did Clairvoyant know about Bowser's defeat in the first place? This is important because it calls Clairvoyant's credibility into question and could rule her out as a viable source of information. After all, it's not really known how long she was imprisoned in a painting or how long the gap between Paper Mario and Luigi's Mansion is. She could be talking about any of the wide number of defeats Bowser suffered, including even the first of them all. You want to know what else is strange? Madame Clairvoyant's first vision of Kingboo.
Oh, horrors! What is this? A king? Kingboo? What is this Kingboo? I do not understand just what he means, but beware of Kingboo. This is what your brother wishes to say to you. Oh, yes, the Boo who wears a crown. I see. This is Kingboo. So, he is the one who has captured your Mario.
Clairvoyant doesn't know who Kingboo is, but she does know who Bowser is. What this says to me is that Clairvoyant's perceptions of Bowser don't come from her visions, but from actual experiences she or others may have had. This means it's entirely possible that, like others, Clairvoyant only assumed that Bowser had been done in. I'd also like to touch on the brutal deaths point, specifically referring to the source Jorge provides in his description. It talks about a couple deaths in particular, those being in Super Mario Galaxy and New Super Mario Bros. In Super Mario Galaxy, though, the universe is reset after Bowser's supposed death, making this point moot. As for New Super Mario Bros. DS, a contradiction comes in when the fact of Bowser dying in lava and creating Dry Bowser comes up. Namely, that a previous paragraph tries to make you believe that Bowser's supposed death in Super Mario Bros. Is invalid because maybe he can swim in lava. If Bowser can swim in lava, there's no reason that he should have died in lava in New Super Mario Bros. My gosh, I'm arguing a theory that makes its home on the freaking creepypasta wiki. Why am I surprised that it's inconsistent?
Another similar theory, one that is a bit creepier, is that Kingboo is the ghost of Bowser. Keep in mind that Kingboo did not appear in Super Mario World. He only appeared after Bowser's death. He must have revived his old body to continue to go after Mario and Peach.
Well, since it's already proven that Bowser didn't die at the end of Paper Mario, I guess that means we can lay this theory to rest, huh? Okay, I'll quit with crappy jokes.
Luigi is dead.
Okay, I'm going to sum up this entire minute and a half of nothing by saying that this theory tries to make the case that Nintendo intended for Luigi to be dead throughout the entire original Mario series, which is utterly ridiculous, brings up the hanging Luigi glitch I already debunked in my video on Tetrabit Gaming and Connor the Waffle, and, to top it all off, the original poster of this theory acknowledges the most fatal flaw in this theory themselves by stating at the very end, Luigi did, in fact, make a triumphant return in Super Mario Galaxy for the Nintendo Wii. Whether Nintendo had intended for the character to be dead all this time and later changed their minds, however, remains up for debate. This theory debunks itself. It's not even worth talking about, it debunks itself so hard. Next!
Super Mario Bros. 3 never happened.
It's the Super Mario Bros. 3 was a stage play theory Miyamoto eventually confirmed. I can't argue with canon. Now, though, we come to number 1. And boy, oh boy.
The Mario Timeline Theory.
This one's gonna be a doozy. It's a timeline, folks. You all know how much I love those.
Shigeru Miyamoto once stated that story and continuity were not part of the Mario franchise. The games were just random, timeless events with the characters just playing out their roles. However, if one were to timeline all these games together, how would it look? Now there's a whole bunch of different versions of the Mario timeline, but I'll try to find a good middle between all of them.
Oh, goody! A watered-down version of all the Mario theory tropes I absolutely hate. I can't wait.
Well, the first game would be the original Donkey Kong 94.
I can't believe I didn't notice this until editing, but notice that Jorge just said Donkey Kong 94. This exemplifies a huge problem I have with Jorge's side of the deal here. For those of you that don't know, Donkey Kong 94 is actually a completely different game from the original Donkey Kong. The first 4 levels were exactly the same as the original, but the game then branches out into a game that was actually the predecessor to the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series, and where said series' first game took most all of its inspiration from. It features multiple different worlds as well, actually ending in the Mushroom Kingdom. This fact is hugely important to the timeline at hand, as Just Embarrassing even mentions. Case in point, Jorge has no idea what he's talking about. Period.
Well, the first game would be the original Donkey Kong 94, where Jumpman is trying to save Pauline from Cranky Kong. The next game would be Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island, and its sequels, seeing that Mario and Luigi are just toddlers during this game. Super Mario Bros. Is next, where Mario has to save Peach from Bowser for the first time. Following up would obviously be the 2 sequels and the Lost levels, which causes Mario to become a wealthy celebrity.
Okay, I know I have a point to bring up about Lost Levels being a parallel universe as stated in the instruction manual, but did Jorge say what I think he just said? Oh no. Boys and girls, this timeline is made by our good friend Just Embarrassing once again, and incorporates parts of both the Mario's milking his fame and the Rosalina unmasked theories, piling it on top of such a confusing set of events with a plot twist so utterly insane it's set to kill those unprepared for it. It's the perfect storm of bad theory making that makes me want to walk outside and lie down on my front lawn until the sun implodes and destroys the earth. I guess we continue. I guess. Save me.
He even makes a celebrity appearance in Punch-Out! Peach takes Mario and Luigi to Yoshi's Island, and they discover that it's been taken over by Bowser and the Koopalings. Mario and Yoshi reunite, and the events of Super Mario World takes place. Later on, he begins to film his life to make a movie in Super Mario 64.
Even know the like two bros are reporters.
Meanwhile, his brother Luigi, disguised as Mario, saves Princess Daisy in Super Mario Land. This game was made when Mario and Luigi looked very identical.
Okay, that's the first time I've ever heard that one. I mean, I guess it's better than Mario cheating on Peach like so many other people want to make this game out to be, but it still seems really flimsy. I like Luigi X Daisy as much as the next guy, but come the heck on!
Mario finishes the movie to find that Wario has taken over all of his land, and thus the events of Super Mario Land 2 takes place. After Wario is defeated, he moves to Wario Land, and all of the WarioWare series games takes place. Mario Party, Mario Kart, and all the various sport games become very popular in the Mushroom Kingdom, with Bowser and his minions being played by actors. In Mario Kart, Bowser's car is slow on purpose because he's supposed to lose for the kids.
Oh my good gosh, you can't actually be serious. Purposely slow? Is that why Bowser's top speed in Super Mario Kart is classified as very high? Is that why Bowser is among a group of characters that hold the highest top speeds in Mario Kart 64? Is that why Bowser's Kart in Double Dash has the highest top speed in the game? Is that why all of Bowser's karts in Mario Kart DS have some of the highest top speed values in the game, rivaled only by Rob's karts? Lackluster acceleration or not, you can't say that Bowser's slow. It goes against the facts. This point goes directly in the trash.
That's not the backup. Oh no, this is Ubi.
Now, this is where it gets a little intense.
And when Jorge says a little intense, he actually means what the actual heck is going on kind of intense. This is going to be a wild finale, folks.
In Yoshi's Island DS, Bowser goes back in time to meet his younger self. They even recognize each other.
Okay, let me say this. Partners in time. The original theory wants to try to play off Partners in Time as occurring after Yoshi's Island DS, but it could also just as easily have happened beforehand. I see no reason to say otherwise. That gives the perfect explanation as for why Baby Bowser immediately recognizes his older self. Oh, but this is just the beginning.
By doing this, Bowser creates a new timeline that's almost identical to the previous one, except this time, Baby Bowser knows that if he goes back in time to kidnap the Star Children, he'll fail.
Nice job using an illustration of Green Koopa Kid to represent Baby Bowser, Jorge. On another note, though, wouldn't it be possible for Bowser to have just forgotten about his failure to procure the Star Children? Or maybe he thought he could do better with the knowledge of what went wrong in the past, but it still turns out the exact same? The possibilities are endless if you really want to think about them.
Instead, what happens is that when he grows up, he goes back further in time to when Mario was just a baby.
Implying Mario wasn't a baby in Yoshi's Island DS? The original theory post makes this exact same error, so this is on both these guys here.
Bowser causes the stork to go to the wrong house, baby Luigi gets kidnapped, and all the Yoshis help Mario in Yoshi's New Island.
It seems our silly stork has delivered the babies to the wrong house.
This line is said in the intro to Yoshi's New Island. Bowser didn't cause anything. It was a mistake on the stork's part. All Bowser did was warp through space and time without any explanation, setup, or payoff. End of story.
Baby Bowser, who could be Bowser Jr., but this would explain why he doesn't have a mother, because he is himself.
Oh no. Oh no 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 no. Heck it, I'm still original. My version of this theory flings Junior in the past to play Baby Bowser, not the other way around. Oh, this though.
And adult Bowser are both defeated. Strangely enough, Bowser Jr. and Bowser both appear in the next game, Super Mario Sunshine. There is no explanation for Bowser Jr.'s existence. Well, if Bowser Jr. is Baby Bowser, then that would mean that adult Bowser kidnapped himself. Not only would this cause a paradox, but a third timeline where they don't exist.
Hold up! Let's think about this for a moment. According to this theory, Baby Bowser being ripped out of his place in the timeline would create an entirely new timeline where Bowser doesn't exist, but still allow for another timeline to exist where Baby Bowser grows up alongside his older self. That's not how time travel works. For one, if Baby Bowser got pulled into the future, he'd still exist, even if he remained a baby. He wouldn't just disappear. The more important point here, though, is that you don't get to have things both ways. What you're actually doing right now is creating parallel universes, and one doesn't just jump to a parallel universe by going back in time. In his own timeline, either Bowser exists or he doesn't. He doesn't just get to be both. If you thought we were done with the stupid time shenanigans, though...
In this timeline, the threat of evil is gone, everything is at peace, and Mario and Peach could finally be together. The stork delivers Rosalina, Peach dies, and then Rosalina meets Luma, lives off into space, and experiences the cycles of life over and over and over again. Eventually, Rosalina gets to the one cycle where the events of Super Mario Galaxy unfold.
Oh, goody! Another janky point about Rosalina that's horrifically underexplained and utterly baffling to try to comprehend in any kind of logical sense. Where have I heard that one before? Now let me read you a bit of the original post on this point for a minute, because Jorge does such a horrible job at explaining this that it's ridiculous.
In Super Mario Galaxy, we're introduced to Rosalina. MadPat's game theory is this really cool theory on Rosalina that I'm partially stealing. He claims that Rosalina is somehow the daughter of Peach. He also says that the father is Luigi, but for narrative purposes, let's say the father is Mario.
Really smooth, by the way, dismissing the one huge point MadPat keeps bringing up this stupid theory for.
How is this remotely possible? Well, let's say there's a timeline where Bowser doesn't exist past the events of Yoshi's Island. The Mushroom Kingdom is at peace. Mario and Peach meet and become close without the danger between them. The Star Festival comes up and Mario gets invited by the princess. Look how happy Mario is when he's on his way. Maybe this was going to be the night where he proposed. Maybe the stork comes soon after and drops off little Rosalina, the girl who spends her childhood playing with her dad's mustache, suffering the loss of her mother, finding a lost Luma, and spending eternity soaring through the cosmos. By living off of star bits, she becomes immortal and is able to witness time in a cycle, living through to the end of her timeline, then to the end of the original timeline.
Excuse me? Original timeline? What?
But in this timeline, the timeline where Bowser Jr. is in cahoots with adult Bowser, the two interrupt the Star Festival and prevent that meeting. Rosalina decides to help her dad. Maybe the reason that Peach is Luma in the beginning of the game is because she witnessed Mario fail in the original timeline and made sure Peach found Luma to help Mario find her in this timeline. And together, they save Peach and leave Bowser to die on an exploding planet.
When did Rosalina suddenly jump timelines? How did Rosalina suddenly jump timelines? I know MadPat glazed over this point as well, but come the heck on! You can't just make claims like that because they're completely illogical. You have to hecking explain things!
And that's when the universe says, I can't take this crap anymore, and sends everything spiraling into a black hole to completely reboot everything that's happened. Mario finds himself back on Earth with Bowser alive and everyone living on the same planet. I believe that this somehow combined all three timelines, allowing everyone to have memories of everything that's happened and allowing Rosalina to exist without tearing a hole in the universe again.
What? I'm absolutely baffled. Now the three timelines are one? How does this reconcile Bowser Jr.'s continued existence if Bowser stole him from the past? How does this reconcile Bowser supposedly remembering his Yoshi's Island DS failure yet still doing it anyway? How does this make any gosh dang sense at all?
After the universe resets itself, all is well, Mario welcomes the new galaxy, and the new Super Mario Bros. Games begin.
For what purpose exactly? Why is this just stuck onto the end of the timeline? It's awkward and it just feels out of place. There's also this sentence tacked onto the end of it all.
Also, Super Mario Galaxy 2 is the storybook version of Super Mario Galaxy as told in Rosalina's library, and Toad is blue in this universe now for some reason.
First off, if Galaxy 2 is supposed to be a storybook adaptation of Galaxy 1, then it does a really horrible job of it, considering it's a completely different story. Also, what do you mean Toad is blue now for some reason? Do you even realize that there's more than one Toad in existence? Did you know that toads are a species and not just a singular entity? I'm legitimately bewildered as to what was going through Just Embarrassing's head when they were writing this theory. This is just all over the place. There are way too many different plot threads here that just go nowhere, and things just pop up for the sake of being there before getting shoved right back off to the side. Then there was that insanity that happened at the tail end there that made absolutely zero sense.
There you have it. That's everything Jorge has to offer. Video's over. No more theories. My gosh, I need to never do a huge list of theories ever again. No, thank you.